You're watching the Dean Show. Question. They called in and they're asking us about the subject of how do you prove there's God? And how do you overcome the question when somebody asks you that where did everything come from? And what about the Big Bang? That the universe is coming from a Big Bang, and why don't we just accept that instead of coming up with this creation business? Okay. One of the ways I like to explain it to our students is like this. It's pretty simple. First and foremost, if they're not Muslim, I always remind them that we say, thank you for asking me about my religion, refer to the Quran and the teachings of Muhammad, and make sure they understand that this is not something you're going to make up on the spot. Okay. The next thing, though, is to ask them, what would happen if I take a water glass and I walk out to the pavement and I drop it? And it'll shatter into many pieces, splintered and break, and it'll just be destroyed, you know, glass everywhere. I say, what will happen if I bring another glass and drop it? They said, the same thing. I said, will it be exactly the same? They said, no, it'll be different every time, but it will always be shattered. All right. Now, another thing, when you talk about something just blowing up, we talk about that there was a mass that just blew up, and everything came out of that. Just a big bang is what they refer to, a big bang, a blowing up. Now, we know full well about things blowing up. In fact, they are attributing all the blowings up to the Muslims in the world, aren't they? But consider this. Well, if you've seen it, and I've seen it on television, it's a horrible thing. It's never beautiful, is it? Is it? No, the only thing that comes out of explosions is chaos. When there is this random blowing up or the random dropping of this glass on the pavement, you'll get mess. You don't ever get order. You don't have order that comes out of chaos. Never, ever. It doesn't happen that way. So how would it be if a tornado went through a junkyard, a salvage yard, and picked all this metal up, the cars and old refrigerators, and threw them up into the air, spun them around, and then suddenly dropped them down, and it turns out that all of it was compact together and made a brand new Mercedes with the motor running. A brand new automobile and the motor running. Would you accept that? You said, this is crazy. This is wilder than a Steven Spielberg sci-fi movie. You're right. It is. Yet when you look to the universe, what do you see? What do you see? You see these spheres going in elliptical orbits. The sun in an orbit. The planets around the sun in orbits. The moons going around the planets. They're in orbits too. And how is that? How does this come about? Stop and think about it. Is it possible that this kind of order comes from an explosion? And that's what it says in the Quran 1400 years ago.
How to do dawah to an atheist? Most of the atheists, we realize, have become atheists because they believe in science and technology. These people think that science is advanced so much, we don't require any scripture, we don't require any religion, etc. The first question I ask to the atheist is that suppose there is an equipment, there is a machinery which no one in the world has ever seen before. If it's brought in front of you, if it's brought in front of the atheist, and if we ask the question to him, that who will be the first person who will be able to tell you the mechanism of this machinery or this object, what can be his reply? What can he reply? Suppose a machinery who no one in the world has seen, if it's brought in front of the atheist, and he's asked the question, who will be the first person who will tell you the mechanism of this machinery or object? The reply the atheist will give you is the first person who will tell you the mechanism is the manufacturer. Some may say the creator, some may say the inventor, some may say the producer. Whatever they say, it will be somewhat similar. Either they say the creator, the manufacturer, the producer, the inventor. It will be somewhat similar. Just keep it at the back of your mind. Then ask him the next question. That how did our universe come into existence? So the atheist will tell us that initially there was a primary nebula. Then there was a big bang. There was a secondary separation which gave rise to galaxies, the sun, the moon, and the earth on which we live. This we call as a big bang. When did you come to know about this creation of the universe? So he will tell you about 30, 40 years back, the scientists that discovered this. You ask him the question. But what you're talking about, the Big Bang, is already mentioned in the Quran, in Surah Anbiya, chapter number 21, verse number 30, which says, Avalam yaral lazina kafaru. Do not the unbelievers see, Anna samawati wal arda, kanat ratkan fataqnahuma, that the heavens and the earth were joined together and we clove them asunder. What you're talking about, the Big Bang, is already mentioned in the Quran 1400 years ago. Who could have mentioned that? So the atheist will say, maybe it's a fluke. No problem. Don't argue with him. You continue.
Another thing, when you talk about something just blowing up, we talk about that there was a mass that just blew up and everything came out of that. Just a big bang is what they refer to, a big bang, a blowing up. No, the only thing that comes out of explosions is chaos. You don't have order that comes out of chaos. Never, ever. It doesn't happen that way. Is it possible that this kind of order comes from an explosion?
That initially there was a primary nebula. Then there was a big bang. There was a secondary separation which gave rise to galaxies, the sun, the moon, and the earth on which we live. This we call as a big bang. What you're talking about, the Big Bang, is already mentioned in the Quran 1400 years ago.
Feel so right, cause you always know just what to say or what is on my mind. Well, I feel I need a special way to ask it to be mine, but I don't know when's the perfect day, what's the perfect time. Baby, you leave me confused, don't know if I should let you know I waited out, girl, wish I knew just what to do. I'm so confused. Wanna see me get down on my knees, wanna hear me begging, baby, please, wanna feel me crying for mercy. Oh girl, I wish I knew your world. I think I'm losing my head over you, girl. Well, I know that it may be too soon to know just what you'd like.